When I started questioning Christianity, we started from God. So that it will help you to understand who God is. What makes him God? It is his capacity. In the beginning, God created. That means there was no time until God created. Because if God didn't create, there will not be any beginning. So where do you start counting from? And it is only in time that you can calculate growth. When atheists ask, who created God? Foolish question. It's like asking, who baked the baker? The baker is not baked. He is the baker. How did the baker come into existence? And only the baker can tell you. So you don't ask who created God. He is the creator. So you now have to ask, how did the creator come into existence? There, we will tell you that your question 2 is wrong. Because he does not come into existence. He is existence. God! He is not our mate. He didn't say he's the beginning to the end though. He is the beginning and the end. It's still the same place. It's amazing how God speaks about himself. He never says I have. He says I am. We now went to Israel. Why Israel? Because you can never understand Christianity until you understand Israel. He said, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. He said, they shall prosper that love thee. How is Israel important to us? Out of Israel came the Christ, the son of David. Go to John chapter 20, verse 31. But these are written that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ. That means Christ is different from Jesus. So Christ is not primarily a person. Christ is the government of God. Everything that is of God, everything that belongs to God, and everything that proceeds out of God is Christ. Acts chapter 2 verse 36. God hath made that same Jesus whom ye have crucified both Lord and Christ. So God made Jesus both Lord and Christ. Christ walked out of Israel, rejected Israel, and went. But he came out of Israel. Now he came unto us the Gentiles. And the Bible talks about the time of the Gentiles. He said Jerusalem shall be trodden down underfoot until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. What's the time of the Gentiles? Hosea chapter 6. Hosea is prophesying to Israel. Now this is what helps us to understand the end times. This prophecy Hosea is giving is not to us the Gentiles. He's giving it to the Jews. But it helps the Gentiles to understand their timing. Because salvation is of the Jews. That is what Jesus Christ told the Samaritan woman. The things of God, it belongs to the Jews. But we rented it for 2 days. He says after 2 days he will revive us. What's the 2 days? Peter said a day to the Lord is 1,000 years. 1,000 years is a day. So 2 days, 2,000 years. After the death of Jesus Christ, 2,000 years afterward, the time of the Gentiles will be fulfilled. Then he says, and in the 3rd day he will now raise us up. Raise who up? Israel. So now, as we enter the 3rd day, Israel is coming back into the picture. And that means we have to be raptured. That takes us to the church. The church is an intrusion into the calendar of God. Come on, do you understand who we are? We are an intrusion into the calendar of God. God had a 70 weeks calendar. At week 69, the calendar paused. The angel came to Daniel and said, 70 weeks are determined. That means on God's calendar, it is 70 weeks. At week 69, the calendar paused. The calendar was not moving again. It was a mystery. It was because a new kind of people had come. And they had nothing to do with Israel. But they were strange. You know, they were strange. They looked different. They came onto the scene. They had nothing to do with Israel. But when they came onto the scene, Israel's calendar paused. How God was dealing with them paused. Until they are taken away, the calendar cannot continue. That is the reason for the rapture of the church. The rapture is not for Israel. The rapture is for the church. Wahala for who no go rapture.